Well, good morning, YouTube family. I believe I owe you a follow-up on my last video where I tested 3 different types of 22 long rifle inside my MP15-22. After doing the practicing at 50 yards, I was pretty disappointed in the accuracy of a lot of the rounds. Well, like I always do when I'm through shooting, I take my rifle in and I clean it. During the cleaning, I discovered a problem. Like I told you, when I first got it comes in a box just like this. The red dot and green dot / green dot is already mounted on. The magazine, when I got it out, I told you the magazine was real rough, and as I pulled this down, it was so rough that once I released it, this without any ammo in it, it would hang and would not freely come back to the top. So I managed to sand parts down in it to free it up and smooth it up, and it works fantastic now. But while cleaning the rifle, and I'm going to show you what I found, and I'll be testing it again with the red dot once I show you this. Don't just assume that this rifle is ready to shoot. I'm sure it's ready to shoot, but it's not ready to be accurate. I want you to listen. You hear that? I discovered that this red / green dot scope, the little nut over here on the other side, is loose. Now, I had a problem once before zeroing in a 308 rifle for a friend of mine. They said no one could figure out how to get it zeroed in, and everybody claimed he had a bad scope. Well, after I put about 20 rounds through it, I would walk one round in, fire another round, and it'd be off. I'm like, there's no way in heck that this could happen. How's this possible? Well, this is an old bolt action rifle. Hey buddy, you come and see daddy? Good boy. But come to find out, on the old, what was that, a Remington, I believe? Don't bump my tripod, buddy. It was an old Remington, wooden stock. It's a good old hunting rifle. I forget what model it was. But the scope was mounted. I checked to make sure the mounts were tight. Back on that rifle, it just had 2 slits grooved into the rifle for the scope to clamp into. And could not figure out why that rifle was shooting different every time you adjusted the scope. Well, you know, on the bottom, they have a screw that mounts the stock to the barrel. For some reason, I thought, well, I'll double check that. Sure enough, what had happened over time is that screw would back out every time it was fired. And so I took that screw out, put some Loctite on it. Not the super hard Loctite, I think it was blue Loctite. Remounted the screw, gave it a chance to set up for 24 hours. Went back out, took the scope, zeroed that rifle in, and at 100 yards, I was within, I'm pretty sure, 1-inch group of 3 shots. I finally took the rifle back to him and told him that rifle zeroed in. It's never going to come away not being zeroed in unless you hit that scope or something like that. Then I told him what the problem was, and it was all because one screw was loose. Well, that's what the problem was with this thing, except it wasn't a screw, it was a nut. And if you notice, it must have a problem with it, because on this nut there's a hole, it goes through it. And I believe that is where you can torque that nut down. So I don't know if this is a problem with these things or not, but that was the problem. I tightened it up just a little bit, but that was just the way it was, and I didn't notice it because whenever I got through firing, instead of leaving it on the lead sled or the shooting sled or whatever you guys call those, I would lay it down on its side. And I think every time I laid it down, that was just enough to move this red dot into a different position. So I'm going to try probably here in another week or so and replicate what I was doing using this red dot with the same ammunition. At 50 yards, I should have been punching holes through that red bullseye part of that scope, or that target. I'm still thinking about putting in a mil dot on this, because I'm not the kind of person, I'll shoot at 100 yards practicing stuff, but I'm never going to shoot, especially a small game cartridges, 22 long rifle, at a 100-yard target, try to kill it. I'll probably do a 22 Magnum or the 17 HMR at 100 yards, try to kill a varmint with it. But 50 yards, I think that's perfect range for one of these things, because if you got zeroed in at 50 yards, you shouldn't have that much drop at 100 yards, maybe an inch or two at the most. So I'm gonna reproduce the video, or reconstruct that video after finding out that this red dot was loose. I wish I'd have known it whenever I put the video together, but I didn't. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, but if you get one of these out of the box, my recommendation is to take this magazine, check it, and make sure it's not going to hang when you pull the feeder down to load your ammo. And also check that nut that holds that scope onto your rail. Don't wait until after you shoot it and then clean it and decide, oh, there it is. So guys, I'm sorry. I should have had a more accurate video for you. But I'm still gonna test that ammo. I thought that polymer tip, those purple tip CCIs, I thought they would be a pretty good little target round. But I don't think they're as fast as the hollow point stingers. I think they're somewhere around 900 feet a second, if I ain't mistaken. But anyway, I'm gonna use the same ammo. I'm gonna get them cheap Blazer rounds and do those too. And first I gotta go to the store and end up getting me some more 22 hollow point CCIs. That seems like for me, the best bullet. I heard they have a new long rifle round out there that has a hollow point with a metal tip. I may try to find some of those and see if I can shoot those. But my overall varmint rifle, out here in the field, anytime I decide to go after the coyotes or so every now and then we have bobcats too. And I'll show you a picture of one I got. Now that picture of that bobcat, if you'll run it back and look at it again, right behind him, or right there where his head is, about 10 feet behind him, is one of those deer licks, you know, little square blocks about a 1.5 foot in diameter. And he walks past that thing. And it's probably the biggest bobcat I've ever seen around here. But the 17 HMR polymer tip, I like using those for that, and the 22 Magnum, CCI 22 Magnum. I like those. I used to think Remington and Federal were some of the best ammo, but I just think they pump that stuff out anymore. But I'm just going to stick with CCI. That's my favorite round. It's what I'm used to, and I just like them. I'm not paid by them or anything, but that's what I want to use. So if you guys got any other kind of ammo you want me to think of or test, send me the name of it, and if I get a chance, I'll go out and get some and try it. But I was really disappointed yesterday after shooting at 50 yards those rounds. Now guys, I like this red dot. I'm gonna hold it up here. So there's the green dot. And let me see if I can do this. You can adjust that green dot down to where it's off, and get brighter. And let's go to the red. Yesterday, you guys saw that I was shooting at a red target. With the red dot, I couldn't tell if I was in the middle of the target or not. So it's good to have the green dot. The green stood out inside that red. But yeah, I have no problems with that. I like it. I like the design of it and everything. But I think I'm still gonna try out a mil-dot scope on it just to make sure that it can shoot just a little bit more accurate after it's tightened down. So we're gonna try to do it again, and hopefully we'll come up with a little bit better result. Hope you guys liked the video, and remember, if you look like food, you're probably gonna get eaten. We'll see you.